Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the AFF Podcast, all for females in affiliate and partner marketing. I'm your host, Kristen Evans, and so excited to have dog mom, regular mom, former mom blogger, and now publisher powerhouse, Amy Aitman, here on the podcast this week. Amy, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. I love this intro. I'm so excited. I am such a big fan of what you're doing here. I've listened and watched every single one of these episodes, and the women that you are showcasing already, it is just like a huge honor to be a part of this group. Like they are rock stars, and it's been a fun adventure so far. So I can't wait to see what else happens with this podcast. I am like a big, big fan.
Thank you so much. I mean, that's wild because there's only been 5 episodes.
I know. And I was like, I like literally, yeah, listened to all of them
Well,
and they're
as
so
soon
good.
as I saw you on Dustin's podcast, I was like, immediately I have to have her on mine. I mean, the hair, first and foremost, as a fellow vivid hair enthusiast, this is the first time that I've had like regular hair in
It's
ages. But I
beautiful.
had a really good streak for a while of I had this great stylist back in Texas where we lived who specialized in vivids. And I would just walk in and I'd be like, whatever the vibe is, just go ahead and do it.
I
And
love
so
it.
she would like I had a sunset that matched one of my tattoos at one point, like
Oh,
so
nice.
good. And I miss it. But I go to the salon like once a year anymore. So I'm
It
like,
is such a, it's a commitment, right?
it is
Like
a commitment. Like
you have to schedule time.
yes, you do. Like you have to like really, really lean into it and own it. And I also am one of those people that's so picky that I'm like, I go to the same stylist religiously, you know?
Oh, I am so dedicated to my stylist. When we moved 4 years ago. I spent months looking for a stylist before I moved. I was almost like, I actually, the first few months I was here, I didn't have one committed, and I flew back to Ontario just to
Did
do
the
my hair.
same thing. The first few months that we lived, or I guess the first year that we lived in California, I went back to Texas for a number of things. And every time I went, I would go see my tattoo artist and my hairstylist because I was like,
Oh, my tattoo artist, that's the other thing too. Yeah.
it's totally a thing. How did you get started in affiliate marketing? You're the COO of Venture Forth, which I totally forgot to mention in my intro, but the COO of Venture Forth, and you're over Red Visible and Scale Visible.
Yes, all
Yes,
the visibles. We
all the
are.
visibles.
Yeah.
How did you get started?
I actually started in affiliate marketing with Venture Forth Media. I
Okay.
mean, you mentioned that was a mom blog, which was so funny because I actually was thinking about my mom blog that I had when I first had my son is 14 now. So this is when he was really little and set up my WordPress and it was fun. Like I had so much engagement on that. It was called Mummy Patter and with so much engagement. It's not online now unless you go into the Wayback Machine. You can find it. And that kind of was like how I kind of got my start. I didn't really have a lot of online work. I wanted to write and I wanted to, have a career back. So, I ended up applying for a freelance job with you in at Venture Forth Media and really liked him, really liked the vibe, and just started working together. And he was like, "Do you have any WordPress experience?" I'm like, "Yeah, I have my mom blog.
Yes,
I
actually.
learned it all myself." It's great. He's like, "Can you like format and publish these articles?" And that's literally where he started. And then as soon as I kind of like figured that step out, he's like, "Can you train like maybe train a VA or train somebody?" And that's just my like journey. And of course, like affiliate marketing has been a big part of our monetization plan for, over the years. And it's really fun that I went to my very first affiliate summit this year in
The first
Vegas.
one was this year.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes. I've been a part of this industry for like a decade, and it was my very first one. Wild. Because
Wow.
I've always been on the operations and editorial side of things. And yeah, I've worked with brands, but on that side. And we've always tried to keep our monetization and our editorial sides separate. I mean, like a lot of our writers would write for brand partnerships and not even realize that was the brand was we were working with on the monetization. And same with affiliate. Like I think There was a lot, I was a little bit nervous too, because I was like, I know we've worked with a lot of these affiliate managers, and I'm only like kind of working with you on this side. And I was like, it was great because every time I talk to someone, they're like, we've been working with you for 10 years. I'm like, hope we've been treating you good. So yeah, and it was what an experience that event was for sure.
Yeah,
What?
I vividly remember my first affiliate summit. And I had Jessica Bishop on last week. She and I went to affiliate summit for the first time together. And we had like we mentioned it during the podcast, but there was one point where we're walking through, it was either the expo hall or the meat market, and somebody's like, "Do you buy or sell traffic?" And we're both like, like so scandalized by it, and it was so overwhelming. But now it just feels like old, like I know exactly who I need to talk to and who I don't need to talk to. I know which booths to avoid entirely.
I
Like,
feel like there was a huge learning curve from like
it
day one to
is.
day three. I had a different experience.
Yeah.
And like I probably wouldn't, I don't know if I'd ever have would have gone to Affiliate Summit, but they asked me to be on a panel and I was like, yeah, I'll take an advantage of it. And day one, I wanted to talk to everybody. I was booked fully and it was great. Day two, I started to like, change up a few things. And day three, I was like, I'm only booking with people that I felt like, because as a publisher, you have traffic nowadays.
Yeah.
And if like you are definitely desired, definitely wanted.
100%. And not everything is relevant to you. I'm sorry, I have cats playing in the background. They
Oh,
all
I love cats.
inopportune time. Um, yeah, as a publisher, especially, like you're in super demand at those things, but so many of the opportunities, and this is where I feel like it's really apparent that affiliate is such a huge industry. There's like just such a tiny portion that's actually relevant to, your business model or like my business
Hmm.
model, and like, and then it's just like this huge like monolith of other kinds of parts of the industry that are so like irrelevant almost to what we do, but still like they're cogs in the machine and it's wild.
It is. It's wild.
It,
I
yeah, next time find me. I feel like I've gotten this down to like a science on like how to stay booked and not too busy at Summit. And I mean, my key is pretty much just hanging out in the VIP lounge because it's where you're going to see all the people that you want to talk to anyway.
That's where I ended up hanging out quite a bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
VIP line. So I recommend if you go, like get VIP. I don't think I could have done without. Plus, I mean, yeah, I had food during
The
the
food and the
day, so
drinks.
you
Yeah.
need that food. You need to keep going.
100%. You brought up traffic a little while ago. So we know that the publishers have seen huge shifts, over
Mhm.
the years, and it's still like literally shifting as we speak,
Yeah.
how publishers are operating, how search is operating, all of that. I'd love if you could take us down a path of how, you guys have been able to kind of stay on top and have been able to pivot and shift as the industry shifted and some of the key takeaways that you've learned, just everything from like the helpful content update to now really shifting into AI.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's been quite a journey with search and I feel like I've been in the arena for a decade. I'm still in the arena. I'm still in it every day. And I have like a love-hate relationship with Google. But for a long time, Google was our main driver of traffic. And we based our entire company strategy on getting Google traffic and monetizing that traffic and work. And that worked for a long time. And we had ridden the Google roller coaster for years. With the portfolio, we grew it from like, I think, 20, 30 sites to at one point we had like 150, 100 something sites, a lot of skunk work sites, a lot of like tester sites.
Yeah,
Um,
that's still a lot of sites.
A lot. We like really love building sites and
Yeah,
we built like we did a few big tranches, so like 26 sites at one time, 32 sites at one time. As an operations nerd, that was really, really fun.
yeah,
Exciting. But like, yeah, the Google roller coaster was like, I was obsessed. I think I am still a bit of an obsessive SEO nerd to a point and a content goblin, if you will. But yeah, we have a portfolio. Like if you like lose some traffic on one site, you could focus on another site. And we shifted, a lot. I think our team's been pretty scrappy over the years, and we always were able to find the wins in the portfolio. The helpful content update was like a new day for content publishers. And I feel like I mean, obviously, we're still seeing the ripple effects of that. And I think the bigger publishers now are starting to feel the pain that we felt. But I feel like we were the first ones to really get hit hard. And it felt different when it happened. I was actually in Vegas at a business conference, and me and you were sitting down, and we've only been in person twice in
Oh,
10
wow.
years working
That's
together.
wild.
We have a really, really great deep relationship through Slack and through like I can hear his voice when he Slacks messages me, and that's we've worked async for so long and we're so used to it. But we were in person, it was like during that, like right after Helpful Content Update hit, and we were like, we got to figure this out. And we had figured it out so many times before. At first, there was like, wait and see. Like this, it can't be this bad forever. Like Google's going to figure it out. And I think within a few weeks, we were like, this is different. And I was one of the publishers that had to lay off a ton of people, a ton of really talented freelancers, contractors, cut budget. We had already started to like make the team a little leaner and see like where we really like need people, where we don't. But I had a lot of freelance writers. We had I'd say a good portion of some of our like gaming and nerd culture sites. Those writers, ugh, it still breaks my heart. A lot of them have landed on their feet. And my managing editor is working for like one of the big boys now, doing really well, is doing really great. But to be like, I know you guys have dedicated your time, played all these games, written, amazing work, but we really can't invest in these sites right now. We have to like just get it to a holding pattern. And that was really, really tough. So those days were really tough. And there were months that I thought, I don't even know if I have a career in publishing and in SEO. And it was, there was just so many, yeah, there was so many like just calling it the helpful content update really hurt.
Yeah, because it's the opposite. It was the opposite of a helpful content update.
I
It
feel like we like the quality of the content got better over the years. Like the goalpost changed, so we had to change. And as like an editorial nerd, like I pushed my writers, I hired better, I hired more like really authentic, nerdy people that are really like, experienced in these niche areas. And I really pushed myself to find better and better writers, better and better people, have better processes for many years because I was like EAT. And if you see some of my old podcasts, my old interviews, I talked about EAT all the time because it made perfect sense to me. If you could showcase, your experience and you were authentic and you had that and you brought that to your publications, of course Google would want to surface it, and they'd want to surface the smaller pubs. But I think AI just shifted so much in our industry, and you can I mean, AI can scale. So content velocity was no longer a moat. And didn't matter how many, I can't compete with the big boys, no matter how much budget I have. Like, $1 million is not enough budget to compete with the big pubs.
yeah.
Really, it isn't. And so content velocity, AI, all of that changed. And looking back now, I kind of get what is happening in search and why we are where we are. Um, and like now, like, forums like Reddit, forums, video. I think we're really excited about video again, which
Yeah.
is really fun. And I just think that's like as much as we can in this world, that's more like AI can't kind of create that stuff.
Yeah,
But
I totally agree with you on that. I think as AI is taking over a lot of the like written editorial pieces, the more that we're able to shift into like community, which is where forums, Reddit, et cetera, come in, and then
mhm,
video. Like I'm seeing a huge surge in brands really wanting to shift focuses to those areas. So I
mhm.
think that, yes, as as a publisher, if you're able to shift your content into those spaces, and then brands are also looking to those spaces for partnerships and for customer acquisition. Like that's kind of where we're all going right now.
We are, and actually, I've really embraced it. I've embraced how search is now. Like, I remember at Affiliate Summit having this conversation with so many people because I would say half the room were still back in 5 years ago.
Yeah.
get traffic, add affiliate links. It's all going to work. Just find the publishers with traffic or buy traffic or like these systems are not working.
Mm-mm.
And now we've like really embraced Reddit. We've really embraced conversational search, I kind of want to call it. And it's actually, I think that's where we're headed even more. Because as I'm like even looking into like the Chat GPT and the Copilot and the Perplexity and thinking about how people are searching and watching my 14-year-old because
Yes.
he searched on Google very different than we've searched on Google.
Yeah.
And there was a time, remember, when we didn't know like the blue links. We had to learn the blue links. We had to learn how to use Google. And
Mhm.
now we're learning how to use these like other modes of search and they're everywhere. Like, and I think it's more conversational. So like the long tail again is really important. And the way that we're presenting content and creating content needs to like really think about all of those things. And as like, as a former freelance writer and editorial person, I think it's kind of exciting because for years, and this was my criticism of our own publications and others, the top 10 results were all very similar.
Yep.
Same picks, same brands, same headings. It got to be a point because like those hacks worked for a little while, right? Like you'd be like, the main differences between section, like make sure it's formatted like this, make sure we have FAQs because and make sure they're the people also ask FAQs. We are so beyond all of that now. And we have to think about like how people are actually like having conversations with these like chat bots and chat GPT and finding our things and how are we going to serve content that fills it. So like I said, video is really interesting because video like AI can scrape video
Yeah.
and get the so that's really fun. And then we can talk about Reddit all day long. I live in Reddit every day now.
I've never been a huge Redditor, but I do have a couple of threads that I'm like, this is where I live. And a lot of it's like gossip because, that's like my guilty pleasure is I love gossip. But yeah, talk about Reddit. Like, t tell me kind of what has been working with you guys because I think that's such a huge area of interest for so many right now. I mean, I've heard Reddit bubbled up multiple times over the years, but now as a way of like of truly, brand messaging and customer acquisition, and also just like positioning brands and products in a completely new way. How is that working kind of for you guys, and how are you able to, really push that forward?
Well, I mean, all like roads led to Reddit.
Right.
And I was one of those like I was not a really active Redditor for a long time. And I admittedly kind of fought it at first because I was like, our publications, we have experts and Redditors, how do I know they're experts? They're anonymous. They're not necessarily experts. But the more I've lived and the more I've like been in that sphere, I really do have a respect for the amount of knowledge and information gain that Redditors share freely. And I think the anonymity, like being anonymous on that platform allows people to have bigger opinions and share more than they would any other platform. But Reddit is not just a social platform. And now that we're seeing it all in search, obviously you get to Reddit so many ways. You get to Reddit through search, you get to Reddit through it's showing up in a lot of AI overviews now and in all of the AI tools. And Reddit has their own search engine. They have their own AI answers now as well. And so even people that maybe don't think they're editors, they're getting led to Reddit all the
Yep.
time. And that's what like, our first kind of like strategy for Reddit was like, can we make this a traffic arbitrage? Because we lost a lot of traffic. And can we, test it out and see what we can do? And we had a few nuggets of like, maybe this will work. We had somebody share an article in a big wedding subreddit, and it still brings in like a few thousand page views a month from that one comment in a thread, like not,
Yeah.
and I was like, yeah, maybe we can do this. And so like figuring out how first we could do a possible traffic arbitrage, but then we started to see all the other possibilities. And, like we do work with brands. We now have like a full agency side with Red Visible, where we help brands, play in the Reddit arena, let's say. And we come in from the side of like UGC. So we come in from the side of users, not necessarily the brand. So I know there's a lot of like companies that offer Reddit market are starting to, and they come in from the brand perspective side of things. And I think that's really important for brands to do still, to have their own subreddit and to, it's a great customer service thing. It's a great way for people to ask questions, and that's really important. We can support those efforts, but we come in more like where we're really in the arena and getting into the conversations that are happening. And like I've seen like a lot of brands come to us and Reddit wasn't really on their radar until the last few bits. But now you're in the SERPs and it's like the first, few. And
Yep.
depending on the query,
Yeah.
and
And it's a
it's
lot. I mean, it's across pretty much across the board too. I mean, yes,
yeah.
the query, but like, I mean, I've seen it surface for so many things that I've looked up recently, and I pay attention. Obviously, it's part of my job. But it has been like really astounding how frequently Reddit is surfaced so toward the top. And I mean, I also did notice it when I did a query in ChatGPT the other day, and I was like, oh,
Mhm.
Reddit, yeah, duh. Like, it's so interesting how it's really taken the place of like blogs used to be that,
Yeah.
it has really taken the place of SEO, and it's just wild. But I think that there's still so much of a misunderstanding of how to utilize Reddit, because you can't just like go in there and be like, check out my brand. Like Redditors are
No,
really,
yeah.
really, really hardcore about the authenticity of the conversation. And it reminds me a lot of like Twitch and Twitch streaming in that way, where it's like the community it has a very kind of similar vibe.
Yes.
Like, don't mess with our space. Like, don't,
Yeah.
try to come in here and like hype yourself up without the backing, without like the actual expertise or knowledge in the subject. And I think that
Oh, Reddit is all vibes.
all
And
vibes.
like it's all vibes. And every subreddit has their own like rules, vibes. You have to spend like you really do have to spend some time. And I call like paying the Reddit tax
Mm,
before you actually can engage there. So I think right now, if brands are curious, like obviously, like check out where you are in Reddit, but like go and hang out in Reddit and see what the vibes are about your brand, about in those groups. There's so many different types of Reddit groups, and some of the smaller subreddits still are like can rank. It's like it's the wild, wild west when it comes to a lot of things. But yeah, it's all about the vibes. So like you really do have to just like hang out and live in that world for a while
yeah.
before you engage, So like that's my first thing, like hang back, kind of like see what's going on, um, and get a like vibe check because before you start to engage, I mean, like vernacular is really important.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
interesting thing is like this is how I've always tried to have editorial. I've always been sometimes against the grain. I've always told like writers like use the vernacular of for your people, right? For your people. Like the gaming and the nerd culture. I think it's like you need to have cred, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And Reddit's like extra cred. And I can really tell, so we still like the people that work with us are real deal nerds, real deal experts. They have that cred, they can speak that language, they can go into those worlds and really get it. And they're like real people. Like we don't do any kind of like body kind of spammy type of things. We're really stuck to our authentic roots and have a lot of people
I
in
mean,
this.
that's important. When I was a publisher at the Broke Ass Bride, vernacular was a huge part of what made us stand out versus other wedding blogs, and I mean, a perfect example is Jessica's site, Budget Savvy Bride, which was
Mm,
um, you know, I would say it was a lot more classy because honestly, it is. But the Broke Ass Bride, like we were irreverent, not irrelevant, irreverent. And it like that's how we spoke in the content,
I
like
love
it
that.
would be a little bit slangy, there were swear words thrown in, like, those
I
pieces.
love having that point of view.
Yeah,
I
but
love
it's
it.
also like that's how our audience related to us, and
Hmm.
it was that authenticity, it was that particular voice, and you're absolutely right. Like I see that same shift over to Reddit where it's like you really do have to speak in the language of your people in order to kind of maintain that cred. But I think that that's true for any sort of publication,
Yeah.
anybody, and like any podcast or anybody who's doing video, like people can tell when you're full of it. And it's really important if you're going to build, especially brand relationships or, you know, um, traffic or, get credibility from your audience. It's important to maintain that realness in yourself versus trying
Hmm.
to fit into some other, ideal of what people.
And I think this is a mistake we make in affiliate marketing or
Yes.
influencer marketing. I think like obviously influencer marketing has its place, but people like we're really smart as buyers. We're like, we know that you're just using this product and you're telling us all the great things. We know when we go to a website that the customer testimonies are going to be raving and they're going to be like pro, 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 pro. And I mean,
Never
I've worked
trust
with
anything
brands.
that's all positive. Just
Right,
don't.
all positive, right? And we come in as like with our editorial real world people hats on, and I'm like, you don't have to be overly good. In fact, I don't want you to be
Yeah.
because really, when even with the AI, for AI overviews, they want the balance of it.
Hmm.
That's what it's looking for. Like AI will scrape if you don't have anything about your brand. They might scrape your site and say, okay, what's the customer testimonials? But if they can find real, like a Reddit thread or real people users saying all of the things, not just pros, but pros, cons, features, all of the things that you need to dig into, that's what will show up in
Yep.
AI. So having that real credibility and being that kind of having it kind of editorial and having that point of view actually helps the whole what's happening in search right now. It helps you get into those conversations. And yeah, that's been really, really fun for us because I think that makes better, I think it makes a better experience, to be
Well,
fair.
yeah, it does. I mean, I've noticed it on Amazon. I used to never read reviews, and then like my sister-in-law's like, I read reviews on everything, and so like I started reading reviews on everything. And I've noticed that on Amazon where it'll be like, customers really like blah, 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 but some people are saying, this is a problem and this is a problem. And I'm like, wow, that's actually helpful. Like,
Yes.
it shrinks on the first wash, and having multiple reviews summarized to have that in a paragraph before you even like dig into the reviews, that helps me make my decision immediately. And because I want to know the negatives, I want to know like what's not going to work for me and be able to make that decision myself, like weigh the pros and cons. And anytime I see something that's overly positive, all 5-star reviews, that's an immediate red flag for me. And not
It is for
it's
me too. It
yeah,
is for me to call me a cynic, but it is for me too. Like we've been on this side. We
yeah,
know. Like,
yes,
we know how the sausage is made, let's say. So it is for me as well. And like, working with brands, I think that's part of like explaining what we kind of do to brands. It's like you're not like you can share your testimonies, share your demos, share all those things with us, but we're not going to be, PR,
yeah,
full on PR. We're not gonna we're coming in as like, real UGC.
yeah,
And that's I mean, honestly, like in Reddit, you get flagged.
yeah,
I,
yes.
you get if anything smells off, feels off. I had a Redditor say like, what is this? And I was like, maybe maybe it's like a little bit too much SEO. Maybe this sounds like an SEO type of thing. I'm like, we can't do this.
Yeah.
Like Redditors will call you out they'll call you the carpet.
And that's one thing I've always loved about affiliate, as opposed to like PR or, paid media or whatever, is that any sort of publisher can be authentic and still be able to
Mhm.
monetize through affiliate links. Because as an affiliate manager, I can't say, make sure that you keep it positive. And I've had plenty of posts come back that are like, not great and still include affiliate links. Brands don't love that, obviously.
Yeah.
until they see the revenue. And like I've written posts that have not been super shiny on brands and still made a ton of money from those posts
Hmm.
because of that. Consumers are still going to make their own decision, but
Yep.
again, it comes back to the authentic voice that it's like, just because it didn't work for me, maybe that is the solution for somebody else. And it all comes back to, we're providing solutions, we're
Oh
not
yeah, love
like,
it. But I mean, I have mad love for brands too.
yeah.
I mean, I've been the one that we've had people reach out they didn't have an overly positive review on our site, and they're like, "Can you give us another chance?" I'm like, "Great, we will. I
That's what
will." Like
affiliate's for. It's great. That's one of my
that.
things.
Oh yeah, I think affiliate right now is such like it's still such a great market. We just have to have our expectations have to be in different spots.
Yeah.
And I think if you are working with a lot of publishers and doing affiliate and you have that, that is also helping you get into all of the things that are happening. Because like one thing I really learned after the painful thing with helpful content update and changing our entire way we're doing business and everything, I've really come to like love our pubs again because I realize one, we're still feeding AI.
Mhm.
So even if I don't see my article on the first couple pages of Google right now, it could be on Bing, it could be in ChatGPT, it could be, and it's informing. So it's actually adding to the conversation. So publishers, like I've been talking to my publisher friends, I'm like, your sites are still valuable. We publish on sites that are still small, tiny. We're seeing like, even if it's just, it's worth it just for Bing because I think I mean, Bing, Copilot, OpenAI, like they're all connected.
Mhm.
So if you have like abandoned your affiliate program or like maybe re-up it again and work with some publishers. And if you're a publisher, I want you to like actually look at your sites again and be like, these are valuable, they have value, and they're part of it. They're not my It used to be the only like our hub. I feel like it's one spoke of search right now, but it's still a spoke. We're still in the arena as publishers.
Yeah, it's a wild world. And I mean, I feel like every few years, the affiliate industry is the wild, wild west all over again, and uh, it's one of my favorite things because we have to constantly learn and shift and grow. And
Hmm.
I'm one of those people that like, if I'm not learning, I'm not being challenged, and then I get bored and then I get complacent and like all bets are off. And while it can be scary to learn new things sometimes, it's also super duper fun if you like can get in at the right time and you're not having to play catch up too much. And I think that that's like this shift right now is
That's how I feel. We're all figuring it out.
yeah,
And like, yeah, even when AI was starting to be more on our radar, I felt like that about AI. I was like embracing it. I was like, okay, but there's no experts out there.
right.
And you're right, SEO started to get really boring for me for a
Yeah.
while because everyone's an expert. Everyone just like knows there's so much written about it. And I was like, ugh, yeah, I was like, I need a new challenge. So maybe the universe just gave this to me. I don't know because it has been a lot of fun.
Your wish is my command.
Yeah. We're going to change the entire landscape of search just for you, Amy, because you need a challenge. You're getting too complacent.
Hey, are you bored? Here's a new challenge.
Yeah.
Sincerely, the universe.
Really, I like, yeah, that's how I like to think about it.
What is the best piece of advice that you would give your past self to deal with challenges that you have faced in the industry?
Oh, I would really like to tell even my year ago self that you'll recover from this. You'll find a way. And that good people, hardworking people, smart people, like you'll figure it out. I mean, I'm a little older and I've been through ups and downs in my own personal life and career, but like that was just like helpful content was a really big blow again. And I had a lot of moments where I was like, do I want to be like, am I gonna be in content? Am I ever gonna find a uh place in this world again? And I wish I could just go back and say, don't worry, it's gonna be maybe a rocky few months, but you're a figure it out kind of gal, and you'll figure it out, and you'll always be in demand somewhere. But I didn't believe that for a while. So I wish I could, go back in time.
You're doing great.
Yeah. I
what,
tell people that now, I'm like, that are going through tough things, because there's like so much shit happening
there's
with
so
this in
much.
the world, with in the and all the like people are holding budget, and I say it's good people are going to figure it out.
Yeah.
You will have opportunities again, and just surviving right now is actually something to be applauded for.
100%, 100%. Yeah, I have friends who are really just like being drugged through the trenches right now. And
Me
there's some
too.
of the smartest, sweetest, and most amazing people I know. And I'm like,
Yes.
you've been doing this, like you've been doing it. You survived the pandemic, you survived this, like
Yeah.
your entire industry was basically shut down for 2 years, and you still came out on the other side. You can make it through this. And if it's hard, find a way that makes you less stressed. Like focus on something else, or just keep going without trying to build something new or without reinventing the machine, because eventually you'll come around and be able to kind of sort it out. But maybe
hmm
your brain's just not there right now. Maybe your heart's not there right now. And that's okay. It's okay
hmm
to just be at like status quo
It
and
is.
you're
Yeah.
able to push past.
That's such an important message, because I feel like, I mean, us like overachiever types and in the industry, and I feel like there's, I mean, like everyone, there's always someone that seems to be doing like amazing things all the time. And so, I like how these conversations are really important, because I've said that a lot lately. Like, if you were just surviving and you are just, status quo,
You're doing
even if you're taking a few steps back, it's okay. Like, you know.
And I think that is one of the things that can be really difficult about this industry, is that like it does feel competitive. Like we're,
hmm
obviously there's a big enough piece of the pie for everybody, like
Yeah.
there's that, and that's something that I feel like gets lost a lot. But it does always feel like, we're in competition in some way. Like, are we, ranking high enough? Are we
Mm,
driving enough revenue compared with this other publisher? Is my agency getting recognized enough? Am I like,
yeah.
is my share of voice enough? Like all of those things. And, even just saying like, hey, we're enough. Like, this doesn't have to be, like the very best out there, but is it good? And is it something that I'm like, oh, I got it done? And it kind of goes back to that, like, done is better than perfect. And that's something that I really have to live with, because I'm like editing these episodes, I will like listen to it 100 times and edit
Oh,
through.
I struggle with this too. I'm a Virgo through and through, and I really struggle with this. I really do. Like,
It's
I
hard.
want everything to be the best. I want to put the effort. I like take a lot of pride, but yeah, in survival mode and times and change, like when you're figuring stuff out, you're not going to do perfect.
No. And
In
if you
fact,
strive for perfection when you're in kind of those tumultuous times, you're making things harder for yourself.
you're making things harder, and you're probably launching things too late,
Yeah.
because like you said with this podcast, it's gonna get more polished and better, and it's gonna like, but if you just waited until it was like this perfect thing in your mind every time, it would never get out there, and you like
It would never
missing out
happen.
this amazing, yeah.
It would never happen.
The-
And
there's always something. There's
there's always
always something.
something, you know, and like, I mean, I can always build off of it later, and like do things later, but just getting it done, just building consistency, just, making sure that like
Yeah.
it's getting out the door. It's really,
Yes.
and I think that overall, with everybody, like just do the job, just do the job, and remember that it's a job at the end of the day. Like this is affiliate marketing. It's not like we're changing lives, you know.
Yes.
We're not saving the
That's really
world.
hard. Like, I like was listening to Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, their Amy Poehler's new podcast
I love it
at the
so
gym.
much. I
I love it. I
love the
literally
podcast.
laugh out loud like while I'm
So
in my headphones at the gym. And she was like, because they talk about work a lot, and if that they're both like really dedicated to their work. And I really relate to that. And she was like, work, I wouldn't say like she didn't want to say she was a workaholic, but she was like work adjacent or work like I'm a workhorse, a work animal. I'm like, yeah, I completely understand that too.
Yeah, yeah, same. I mean, I think one of the greatest and worst things about me is my work ethic.
Yeah. The greatest and the worst. It's a blessing and a curse all in one. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I used to use it so much, previously before I owned my own agency. It was the way that I made sure people were happy with me, and like I'm a pathological people pleaser, and so I've always leaned into my work as, looking for that validation and looking for, those pats on the back. And now I'm my own boss. I don't have anybody to do. I mean, my brands can, but like they pay me money. They don't care, like I don't
Hmm.
have those forms of validation. And my God, I don't think I've ever been so sane in my life, because I'm not
That's
chasing that
amazing.
high. I'm not,
Hmm.
there is nowhere to get that right now. And it's just, I have to do the work for me rather than for somebody else. And
I
that's
love that.
weird.
That's a journey in and of itself.
It
Really
really
is.
is. It really is.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've been working since I was 14, so I
Me
just
too.
think I've
Me too.
always been doing that. And I struggled for a while, and then like I kind of built up this little friend group and we're like each other's like hype beasts.
I
And I
love
think
it.
that that is so important. Like I can still get that validation, but it's not the same level of validation. It's more of like my people being like, you can do this. You can do,
Yeah. We all need those hype
yeah,
people in our corner,
a
for
hundred
sure.
percent, 100%. Um, who has been your biggest role model or inspiration in this industry in affiliate marketing?
It's a really tough question. I've had a lot of great mentors in my life, and I would say, like I want to totally give props to Ewan because he like gave me a seat at the table back in the early days, and I always felt I had like leadership potential, and I'd struggled after university, and having my son, I wasn't working when I had my kid, and it was like he trusted me to lead and he gave me a lot of things. So like he's been a true mentor, but I mean also like my chief of staff, like she's a mentor to me too. She pulls me back down when I'm in panic mode. In fact, like we even this week she created a panic mode button for in Slack, like
Oh, I love that.
for us because she's like, you need to use this when you are starting to feel it, and I'm here. But she just has a real calming presence, and she's taught me a lot. And I mean, she's like a lot younger than me, and we've worked together for 8 years. And so I feel like mentorship comes from like all, sides. I mean, I've learned a lot from my team. I've learned a lot from I've just really, I think, yeah, I would say I'm gonna shout out to Natalia because she is really amazing mentor to me. And I love working with her. It's been eight years, and I think that's really special in this industry to have
That
these
is so
relationships.
special.
Yeah, and we got to hang out in Toronto, and she came from She lives in Costa Rica. She's Canadian as well, but that's where she lives. She actually lives in the mountains of Costa Rica with her husband,
Okay.
and that's what's on the Zoom calls. Amazing. And yeah, we got to hang out and do foodie tour in Toronto, and it was just amazing. So yeah, like this industry and this like life has brought me the best people. I have like the best people in my life because of it. And I don't know if I don't know. It's hard to say like a regular office job would not be the same.
I mean, I agree with you that the best people I know are because I've gotten into this industry. My best friends have come out of this, and like I
Mm,
see them like twice a year, maybe, and
yeah.
but we talk literally all the time, like constantly, and
Yes.
I mean, yesterday. I found an issue in one of my programs, a discrepancy in some reporting, and I couldn't figure it out for the absolute life of me. I was like, I'm so stumped here. I have pulled every report. I have like looked at it sideways, and it is well known that I am not a spreadsheet girly. Like I was a journalism major. I am a
Mhm.
communications, like put words, give me words. Do not give me a wall of numbers because that's all
Mhm.
it is to me. So I messaged my friend Nick and I was like, I can't, like, what is going on? And he got on a Slack huddle with me and he like did a pivot table and the VLOOKUP and
Oh
like
my
all of the
goodness. I
things that I'm
love
like,
that.
absolutely not. I don't think so. And if I didn't have that, I don't know where I would be. Like if I didn't have support on that level and, friendship and community on that level, I feel like I would be so lost. And I'm so, so grateful for the people who I get to turn to like that. And I love that you mentioned that Natalia is younger than you because I agree that like mentorship comes in all angles. One of my team members, Alexis, she's very similar to that. Like she's just a very calming presence and she is so graceful in the way she talks and does things and handles things in a way that I'm not. And she's always got like this air of like gratitude about her too that always just reminds me to be thankful and always reminds
Hmm.
me to like chill out once in a while. And she's one that has come from I hired her at my first agency that I worked at, and she's been through a couple
Amazing.
of jobs, and then a couple of years ago she, was looking for work, and I was like, please
Yes, I am
come
a
to my
big believer
team.
of create the job for the person.
Yeah.
Like choose your own adventure. I've said that many, many times, and I really believe in it.
Yep.
And I believe that like good people, I mean, I love when people give me referrals. Like I've had so many really great people referred from my publisher friends. They're like, I have this great editor, I have this great person, and yeah. So I will create, if I can, create the role for the person for sure.
I love it. I love it.
Love it.
You mentioned doing a foodie tour in Toronto, and I am also a
Mhm.
huge food person. Like, love food. What is your favorite food? Like, what's the best meal you've ever had?
Oh my goodness, that's like the hardest question you're ever gonna ask me. I was just in Halifax, because we live on the East Coast now. I was just in Halifax last weekend, and there's like this Mexican restaurant with the authentic. I love authentic Mexican food. I
Mhm.
love Mexico for that reason too. I'd say that's one of the best. I'd say really good curry from England. My husband's British, so we've been to England. I don't know why British cuisine gets bad rap because some of the best meals I've ever had have been from England. Like the quality of the food there, like the farm to table stuff. I was in Port. I am a foodie. I was in Portland in December, and I ate at Le Canard. That was really, really nice. And I got to sit at this chef table, like where I got to watch the chefs. But I was by myself. I was traveling by myself, so I was by myself that night.
I love
I think I ordered
doing
like 12
food.
things.
I love doing food adventures by myself. Like with if I'm traveling to a city, I will like go book like a five-star meal for
Oh
myself.
yeah, because my husband does not appreciate any of this. I have
I'm
girlfriends that
there.
do, I have friends that do, so like I will do friends. And there's also like this little pho hole in the wall in Toronto near Kensington Market that it's I think it costs you like under $10 and you're getting like the real authentic pho. Like so yeah, I like all kinds like food experiences for
Yeah,
sure.
I same. The vibes are there. I love that's part of the reason why I love conferences, and especially affiliate summit. Like I try to go eat somewhere new at every affiliate summit, even though
Everything.
we have been to Carson's Kitchen 2 years in a row because it's so good. Uh, but yeah, I love like my friend Nick, he's also a food person, so like we'll, research and like book something and like
Oh
really just
yeah.
go treat
All the
ourselves. It's my
I
favorite.
really get annoyed when I waste a good meal on vacation or at a thing. I
Yes.
get really annoyed because
Yes.
I'm like, these are very sacred spots, like in my life. Like time, calories, everything. It's
Yes.
like if it's well spent, it's worth it all. Like we went to Fubu
100%.
in Vegas once, and that was did tasting. It was really good to go
Yeah.
to. Like and I won't regret spending that money, even though it can feel extravagant. But even if it's like a $50 something, if it's, oh yeah, I get really annoyed with that. Like I
I do too.
wasted a good vacation spot.
I am more likely to like go all out on a meal than I am on like anything physical. Like
Mhm.
I will spend some dime on a good food experience because that's basically my love language.
It
Give
is my
me an
love language.
amazing
Yeah.
food and an amazing cocktail, and I'm the happiest person on the face of the planet.
Me too. Me too. I like, yeah, I will. It's definitely a good investment.
It is. Oh,
Sure.
I've never regretted spending food. What do you what would you say your affiliate marketing superpower is? I mean,
Oh,
obviously
this
FEM, but
this is tough. This is a tough one too, but I mean, I love these questions. I would say like I really consider myself a figure it out kind of person and figuring, I really do. I can pretty much figure out how to do something and get it to like an eight, I call like 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10. I'm not a polisher. I'm not like I love giving things to my team and being and watching them make my little like thing better and better and better, but I can figure it out. And I think that's is a superpower in affiliate and search and all the things that are going on right now.
yeah,
Because I figure
figuring it
like
out is
things are
important.
every day, every day I'm like, oh, should we try this? How am I going to get here? What am I going to do? How can I sign up for that? How can I do that? And it's one of the reasons why I like ChatGPT because it's like a co-pilot to
Yes,
brainstorming and I can brain dump. And we all know like part of the magic is in the brain dump and in that to figure things out. So yeah, I would say that's probably one of my superpowers as well. And I really embraced it.
I love it. I love it. What is your conference fit vibe?
Oh, I would say like I love having my pink hair at conferences. It really helped because it was when like affiliate Summit West was like just follow the person with pink hair. I thought really there'd be a lot more people with vivid hair at
No,
that
it surprises me every time, every single time.
like this is a like creative kind of industry, right? But like I was like, it's not going to stand out that much, but it worked. And so like I feel like clothing, it's like really easy because honestly, anything goes with pink hair, kind of like so I don't have to like really think about it too much. I kind of go for I'd say comfortable. I like maybe nerdy cool.
Okay.
That's kind of my vibe. I would try
I love
to do
it.
it. And I love running shoes at conferences with dresses and skirts. I've given up heels many, many years ago.
Yeah,
So
I am 100% in the same boat. Same boat. I have one pair of like low Chelsea boots that I wear, and then I do have like a higher, chunkier pair, but they're super duper comfortable. But yeah, I have finally just fully given up on trying to outdo it with my shoes because I mean I walk like 20 miles a day when I'm at conference.
yes.
Like
Yeah, you
that's
do. You walk a
ridiculous.
lot. If
Yeah,
I
and I
know I'm
used
gonna like if I know I'm gonna like take a cab to a dinner and sit, maybe I'll do a nice shoot. Maybe.
yeah.
But if I have to walk anything, and if I have like especially at conferences, and I am so impressed when you see women like in high heeled boots and they I mean they look amazing. I'm like, how are you doing it?
Could never
But
be me. Could never be me. Um, let's see. Let's wrap up a little bit. What do you think some of the biggest opportunities for brands and publishers are within the next 5 years?
within the next 5 years, well, I mean, I don't know. Like it's every day is a new. I'm in the SERPs every day, and we're still like I think. It just changes so much from one day to the next. The SERPs will change. Like sometimes you'll see AI overviews, sometimes you won't. Sometimes you'll see like they're moving around. Sometimes like Reddit will be the top form, sometimes Quora will be, sometimes other forms will be. I'm seeing a lot more video now. So I feel like this ever-changing landscape of search for publishers is going to change. I feel like traffic is really fragmented. I don't think that's going away. I think it's even become more fragmented. And then strangely, maybe more personalized. Like maybe each have our own kind of like so we talked a bit about that too. Like some of the futurist friends are like, maybe you'll have your own search engine, your own like personalized search engine that you just like, or like maybe they'll be like trending search engines. Like I think I don't know. I really don't know. Search is like changed so much. I
Yeah.
feel like as human beings and as like obviously with what we have now, we've been trained to search and we're always going to search and find it somewhere. But I think it's just gonna I think it is already shifting. Like I said, I think people are having conversations a lot more now. That's like, I think in the next 6 months, a year, long tail is really gonna have a thing. But I think as the technology changes, as Google changes, as more things, it's gonna be more scattered, more fragmented, more diversified. So then for brands and for us, you have to just like have more footprints.
Mhm. Yeah.
So You just do.
Yeah. It's I totally agree with that. The idea of a personalized search engine, I think that that's where things are headed. I mean, especially with, more and more use of Chat GPT and, AI and all of that, that is literally learning you as you go. That's
I
just,
mean, I think the kids expect that.
yes.
Like we all know, like when you're on TikTok, you just you slow down a little bit at some videos and all of a sudden it serves you that.
Yep.
But you could also search. And I mean, that's really great I think that is where we're headed, where it's like it serves you and you search and you converse and it's personalized. I mean, I know there could be like ramifications, like it could be an echo chamber, but to be fair, I love being served up things that I love on TikTok. I think it's great.
I
It's a
built my
great algorithm.
IP brick by brick on purpose.
Yeah, it
It's
really like it
exactly
reads
where I like
me
it.
really well. It reads
Yes.
me. And I'm like, it's like, yeah. So I enjoy it. And I
Me
think for
too.
brands and publishers, you have to have your footprint in a lot of places. I used to say, be where your people are. Well, now I think your people are a lot of different places and you have to try to be everywhere.
Yeah.
Which
I
it's
totally
hard.
agree with that. What is your hype music?
Oh, my hype music. Oh, that's good. I'm a big Britpop fan. So
Love it.
like on the 90s, like I love Blur.
I love
I
it.
met Damon Albarn. I think he's amazing. I love Oasis. I love Blur. I love both of them. I love all that music. But I also love Sabrina Carpenter.
I
She was
saw
like
you
the
had
top.
espresso on one of your Instagram posts, and I was like, ah,
Yes.
pop girlies.
I got that, like, the Spotify rap list, like
Yeah.
we share it amongst our team members too. And I got that what was it? Pop Princess what by or whatever. Because I listened to so much Sabrina Carpenter last year.
Did you go see her concert?
No,
It was so
no.
good. I
I think she's amazing.
I
She's like a
managed to get
real
tickets
pop
for.
princess. Ugh.
She is. She's literally like she's Polly Pocket Pop Princess, 100%.
Mhm.
I managed to get tickets for San Francisco, and it was going to be me and my husband. Then we couldn't find somebody to watch our kid, so I went by myself. And just another.
I've done that.
It's
I saw
so
Arctic Monkeys by
fun.
myself and gave the ticket away to some random guy in a Facebook group. And then he snuck us down. We were in the front row where we weren't supposed to be.
I love it. I
I was
love
right
it.
there with Arctic Monkeys right there. And that
Well,
experience would have happened if I had said I'm not going because someone's not coming with me.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I highly recommend like if you get a chance to see her, go see her because like the show vibes are immaculate. Is all I
Oh, I
vibes are
do really
immaculate.
want to
It
see
was
Sabrina
wonderful.
Carpenter. Like
Um,
it's still like I feel like I'm really for like vibe music these days and vibe podcasts and vibe. I'm really into like joyful,
yeah,
happy things because I feel
because
like
the
that's
world's
what
burning.
the world is burning around us. So like a giggle, a laugh,
Yeah,
something like Sabrina Carpenter actually really does help lift your mood.
I agree. I mean, I'm a big Taylor fan. I'm a big Sabrina fan. I've been really loving Doechii lately too. Like she is
Yes.
just
Yes.
stunning, stunning. And yeah, as far as like, having a giggle, like you mentioned Amy Poehler earlier, I've been really into the Giggly Squad, Hannah Berner and Paige DeSorbo. Like they make me laugh so hard,
Oh,
and
I love
this
it.
fashion is insane. But yeah, like it's that same kind of thing where it's just like they just giggle and have a good time. And I just want to giggle and have a good
I
time.
just want to giggle too.
Well, Amy, thank you so much for joining me this week. Where can people find you?
Oh, I'm definitely on LinkedIn, but I mean, if you want to check out what we're doing with Reddit, you can go to our redvisible.com site. If you want to check out how we are, you know, getting into a lot of the AI overviews and the SERPs, you can check out Scale Visible, which like all the visibles. And yeah, but reach out to me. I'm really accessible. Like, if you reach out to me on LinkedIn, I am obsessed with following up with people.
She literally
I
got back to me within like moments.
Yeah, I really do because I've been that person that I've reached out and you're waiting and you're on red for like months.
Yeah.
And even if it's like it might not be a great fit, but I'm really accessible on LinkedIn. So yeah, reach out.
Well, thank you so much. Any last words? Anything else you want to share?
No, I just like I'm so thrilled that you invited me to be on this podcast and I really am excited to see all the interviews that are going to happen. We've had some amazing women on so far, and I've already like learned a lot and been inspired again. And also it's like it is like a bit of like, we've had some serious discussions, but it's also like I think you're just so much fun and bubbly. So like this is on my playlist. Like I don't think I've binge listened to a podcast in a long time. So
Oh,
I'm excited. And then you're also like, yeah, I also think like the affiliate world needs this right now too. So our industry needs this. So I'm really excited to keep listening, keep watching.
thank you so much for your kind words. And again, thank you so much for joining me. I'm truly honored that you took time out of your day to do this. So, yeah, we will see you guys all next week. And Amy, again, yeah, thank you for joining me.
Thank you.